All too often, I am asked the question, Christian, where do I begin? I've seen your content. I'm interested in day trading. Something about this speaks to me. The only problem is, I don't know anything about day trading. Well, today, I will tell you look no further because we will be going over exactly how to go from zero experience to becoming a hero in these markets. In this 5 part series, we will break down the ins and outs of everything that is required of you to get up and going as a beginning day trader. So sit back, get a notebook, maybe grab some coffee, and enjoy. In this series, there will be 4 educational components designed to get you ready to begin observing price action while cutting out the noise of endless indicators and internet marketers. We will be going over the basics of charting, consisting of how candlesticks form, where to see charts, and what to ultimately look for when you're looking at these price charts. We will then go into the basics of how do you actually read price. We will narrow our focus to high probability times of day while eliminating poor conditions that generate losses. From there, we will move on to the next phase where we actually begin to build a trading model. This will utilize my top beginner friendly concepts for day trading. And finally, we will conclude the series with an example of a trade execution demonstrating everything we have discussed up until that point and how to apply it in a practical way. The key tenets of day trading, we will be focusing on precision elements. So, how we find high probability entry models with logical trading targets to ensure consistent results over the long term. Our next focus will be risk management because capital preservation is the main focus for a trader because your ability to weather those losses is what's going to keep you in the game. And lastly, we will look for repeatable setups. We want high quality trades that appear on a frequent basis. Unicorns are nice, but we want at least a few trades per week when looking at these markets. Now, you might be asking, Christian, that sounds nice and all, but what should I reasonably expect as a timeline when learning to day trade? Does it really take years to fully master? Well, you guys will have to tell me. But all I can say is this is exactly what I wish I learned on day one, and I'm willing to bet that you can learn faster than I did. Proper learning is the number one accelerator for a trader's career. Avoid years of learning the wrong things. Start properly and see rapid progress as a result. This is the process that we will undergo during this series. We will become first familiar with price. We will learn the language of the markets. We will become fluent in everything related to futures trading. We will understand the basics of candlesticks and how they form and be able to identify the key significance at specific price levels. From there, we will begin tape reading. We will analyze charts in real time because nothing beats experience and reading live charts. No textbook will ever capture the detail of candlestick fluctuations. From there, we will go into our observation and strategy creation phase. We will use our understanding of how price reacts to significant price levels to create a repeatable entry model using logical profit targets. And lastly, we will transition to demo and then to live trading. Our primary focus early on is avoiding losses while still being able to learn in a productive way. As we prove competency, we can increase our risk exposure. This is because our commitment to learning correctly from the start will save us needless pain and heartache. We look to create an efficient and safe learning environment where we can make mistakes without ever running into the risk of ruin. Because early financial losses are a huge contributing factor to the high failure rate of traders. Through this education focused approach, we will look to avoid the common pitfalls that other educators blindly lead the masses towards. It is also important that we learn how to define success when we are referring to day trading. And that is ultimately going to be the process of making measurable improvement on a daily basis in terms of your decision making. So P&L is never going to be the leading indicator of progress as a trader. Luck will always exist, and you can still lose while doing all the right things. So again, precise entries, predetermined targets, room for improvement, because as a trader, you always need to be able to glean at least one lesson from every single trade you take, because ultimately that's how you get better. And lastly, we will come to the understanding that More profit does not come from taking more trades. It is simply a result of adding more money to those same trades that you take. Very quickly, we'll discuss trading resources. This is a list of everything that I use personally. We use TradingView for trading charts. This is where we do all of our analysis. There's a number of annotation tools. It is a very simple platform to use. When looking at economic calendar events, we use Forex Factory. We can filter for US based equities, and we can filter by significance. And lastly, all of my note taking happens in the Notion app. We will be using that for one journaling as well as trade review. We will be considering the various trading platforms that a new trader may opt to use. We will look at live accounts versus funded accounts. We will talk about the differences of both and which one would be ideal for you. So, to recap, our primary focus is learning correctly from day one, avoid the common path of failed traders. And our understanding of the market will be based on this premise. What is the function of price? What is it trying to do? We will then learn how to read that by going into the charts and studying price action. We will look at specific times, looking for key signatures and patterns. Nothing beats live charts. No book, no tutorial, nothing will ever capture those fluctuations correctly. And finally, we will move into demo and then eventually live trading. We will practice entries, and once you've developed a strategy through observation, we will develop a proof of concept before you ever risk a single dollar of your hard earned money. This is how we approach markets using a systematic method to develop familiarity and progress to competency over a number of weeks and months. So, what does that mean? We become familiar, we prove that we understand the concepts, we show that we have a repeatable model, and we eventually progress into more commitment. We start to execute on a demo, and then you can consider if you want to trade a live account. But that is the progression that every new trader should be highly considering. So, what's next in this 4-part series? Again, starting with candles and charting, moving on to the basics of tape reading. We will then build a trading model, and then we will show you how to execute that in live time. And that is all that we have for today. So be ready for next week where we dive headfirst into candlesticks and charting. You will learn everything you need to know from how a candlestick actually forms, what it represents, how to identify market structure, swing points, and so on. So if you enjoyed today's video, if you're ready for the next video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you have not already, and be sure to share this with a friend that might find value. Thank you very much.